Reality TV talent shows promise the ultimate modern fairy tale. Sing your heart out, win America's vote, and wake up famous. For over 2 decades, American Idol, The Voice, America's Got Talent, and their lesser-known cousins sold us that glitter-drenched dream, that overnight success was just one dramatic key change away. And sure, sometimes it worked. Kelly Clarkson, thriving. Carrie Underwood, basically country music's final boss. But beyond that top tier of winners, things get fuzzy. How many champions truly became household names? And how many became trivia questions your dad gets wrong? Even the people behind the shows, judges, coaches, producers, have quietly admitted the uncomfortable truth. The talent was real, but the star-making machine, not so much. As one headline bluntly asked after American Idol's 23rd season, how many winners have actually become the next American Idol? Spoiler alert, fewer than the number of original Idol judges. So today, we're digging in. From the artists still grinding in the shadows, to the ones who briefly touched the spotlight before being swallowed by algorithmic indifference. From the faces that disappeared faster than you can say contract dispute, to the ones who lost, but somehow won bigger than anyone expected. Some are thriving, some are busking, some, let's be honest, you haven't thought about in a decade. Let's change that. There was a time when we cared, deeply, not about politics, not about world events, but about who could belt out a power ballad better on live television. We sat on our couches, phones in hand, voting like the fate of Western civilization depended on it. Teen prodigies, Southern charmers, gospel powerhouses.
We clawed, we chained our hearts and we jumped.
These weren't just contestants, they were gladiators in the sparkly coliseum of pop culture. And for one glittery moment, they truly looked like the future of music. But what happens when the confetti settles and the cameras pack up? What happens after the dream montage ends? Take Clay Aiken. Yes, that Clay, the almost winner of American Idol Season 2, known for his signature earnestness and the eternal question, wait, didn't he win? He didn't, but somehow he outlasted half the winners. His debut album went double platinum, Broadway called, and then, because why not, Congress.
You might wonder what would qualify me to run. Well, it starts with a life I remember all too well.
Because when life doesn't hand you a Grammy, just aim for the US Capitol. It's only slightly more forgiving. Then there's Kelly Pickler, 6th place but full of firsts. She leaned into the whole sweet Southern charm thing so hard it turned into a brand, one that included country hits, a Dancing with the Stars trophy, a talk show, and enough public goodwill to survive in an industry that usually eats blondes for breakfast. She didn't reinvent the wheel, she just kept it rolling, in heels. And while they never set the charts on fire post-victory, Javier Colon and Tessanne Chin, both winners of The Voice, remained committed to the grind. Javier had the voice, the buzz, the celebrity coaches backing him. But the label push faltered fast. His debut album barely charted, and his tour dates dwindled as promotion dried up.
When tears are in your eyes.
Tessanne's rendition of Bridge Over Troubled Water brought tears nationwide and shot up iTunes charts overnight. But the follow-up? Her album Count on My Love was barely marketed and sold under 7,000 copies in its first week. Yet both artists kept singing, kept performing, kept creating. They didn't trend, but they endured. What all of these stories show, painfully, poetically, is this: not becoming a household name doesn't mean you failed. Because talent shows hand out votes, not guarantees. And fame? Fame is a rigged game, especially when it's attached to a network contract and a rushed debut single. They're not trending, not headlining festivals, not guest starring on late night talk shows, but they're there. Gigging in small clubs, teaching voice lessons, dropping Bandcamp EPs. The stage is smaller, the audience quieter, but the music, still alive. It's not glamorous, it's not viral, but maybe, just maybe, it's more honest than a confetti cannon ever was. They're still out there, still creating, still grinding, just not in HD. Of course, not everyone rides off into a career montage. For some winners, that glorious confetti-soaked moment wasn't a springboard. See, it was the final scene. Curtain down, credits roll, thanks for playing. Because winning a talent show doesn't guarantee a Hollywood ending. Sometimes it just earns you a slightly neglected Wikipedia page and a few confused "where are they now" Reddit threads. Take Just Sam.
A day to give.
Born Samantha Diaz, who who won American Idol in 2020 during what can only be described as the show's most cursed season. No audience, no tour, no roaring applause, just a laptop webcam, a Zoom delay, and a global pandemic. She won without ever touching a real stage and parted ways with her label before dropping an album. By 2022, headlines told a very different story. Sam had been spotted busking in New York City subways, singing for tips. No PR team, no glam squad, just raw talent and a Metro card. Winning a reality show didn't automatically equate to success, she said. No auto-tune, just truth. And then there's Kevin Skinner, the soft-spoken chicken farmer from Kentucky who won America's Got Talent in 2009.
Would she ever doubt the way I feel?
America fell in love with his humble charm and heartfelt country ballads.
When I go out on stage, I hope that the crowd, will like what I'm doing.
He walked away with $1 million prize and a Vegas headliner slot. But after the curtain dropped, so did the spotlight. Skinner gradually disappeared from the public eye, with little known about his current life. The man who once melted hearts on national TV is now a, wait, what happened to that guy? Google search away. Melanie Amaro, the first winner of the X Factor USA, came with all the ingredients of a breakout star: powerhouse voice, emotional backstory, and a $5 million record deal that Simon Cowell swore would change everything. And it did, just not in the way anyone hoped. Her debut single struggled to chart, her album was delayed, reworked, and eventually released with minimal impact. Though she remained active and attempted comebacks, the mainstream industry largely moved on. Turns out Simon's approval doesn't always get you on the Billboard charts. Chris Allen, the winner of American Idol Season 8, is perhaps best remembered for not being Adam Lambert.
Oh, get right to, and it took some time, but I'm feeling like
He won the crown, yes, but what came next? A brief chart run, some radio play, and then a gentle fade into the background. No scandals, no reinventions, just disappearance. While he's continued to release music and perform over the years, including a 2024 single and tour, his mainstream presence dimmed quickly. Even die-hard Idol fans have to Google him to remember he won. When the confetti fell, it felt like a beginning, but in hindsight, it might have been the quietest finale ever. Lee DeWyze followed the next year, Season 9 winner. Acoustic guitar, raspy charm, classic underdog appeal. He had the fan base, the votes, the stage, but his debut album landed with a corporate thud. The label didn't know what to do with him, and it showed. He was dropped quietly, like a meeting that could have been an email. He's still making music, yes, but the spotlight left the building a long time ago. And finally, Alex and Sierra, whispery, folksy, adorable. They won Season 3 of the X Factor USA with acoustic covers and couple energy. Fans were convinced these two would be the next indie pop power duo. Instead, their debut album sank with barely a ripple, suffering from a lack of label enthusiasm and muddled promotion. They eventually broke up, romantically and professionally, and now exist mainly as a nostalgic YouTube thumbnail. Their biggest legacy, a cover of Toxic with 50 million views and 0 follow-up, a haunting echo of what could have been. Because for every Carrie Underwood or Kelly Clarkson who went from stage to superstardom, there are far more Sams, Kevins, Melanies, Crazies, Lees, and Alex and Sierras. Winners who vanished after the final vote. No scandals, no meltdowns, just the slow, awkward fade of public interest. Turns out confetti doesn't guarantee longevity. Sometimes the best moment of your career is the one where Ryan Seacrest says your name and then never calls again. But for others, that silence becomes the space where they start building something real. In the grand tradition of reality TV plot twists, here's the best one yet. Some of the biggest stars to ever come out of talent shows didn't win. They didn't even come close. They were voted off, forgotten, or written off, only to return as icons. Because while glitter fades and trophies gather dust, freedom builds legacies. Start with Jennifer Hudson.
That blows no good, yeah.
American Idol Season 3 didn't even make the top 6. America voted her off, and the nation collectively screamed into the void. But she didn't just bounce back, she detonated. Dreamgirls, Oscar, Grammy, Tony, Emmy, and EGOT people. Jennifer Hudson got booted off Idol and won Showbiz. Try announcing that with dramatic lighting and Ryan Seacrest whispering your name. Then there's Chris Daughtry, rocker, runner-up, and arguably the guy who made losing look sexy.
Oh, the lonely days are gone. I'm coming home.
4th place on Idol Season 5. Didn't cry, didn't crumble, just casually formed a rock band, named it after himself, and outsold the actual winner several times over. His debut album went platinum 4 times. Grammy noms followed. He built a blueprint for post-reality success. Skip the win, keep the momentum, avoid the contract hell.
Is Adam Lambert up and coming?
Here we go. Adam Lambert, same story, new genre. Runner-up in Season 8 and still probably the only contestant whose rejection led to a gig with Queen. Yes, that Queen. Freddie Mercury's Queen. He didn't win Idol. He inherited a throne. Since then, he's toured the world, dropped solo projects, headlined arenas, and become a symbol of theatrical power pop done right. And the guy who beat him? Look, we're sure Chris Allen is lovely, but be honest, who's still selling out stadiums? Jackie Evancho is a different flavor of runner-up. Just 10 years old when she stunned America's Got Talent with a voice that sounded like a centuries-old cathedral had come to life. She came in second, but by the time she was 11, she'd released multiple best-selling albums, performed at presidential inaugurations, and basically owned the classical crossover scene before hitting puberty. She didn't need the win. She was the moment. And then there's the myth, the meme, the man, William Hung. He wasn't a finalist. He wasn't even good.
I go crazy cause she looks like it.
But his off-key, all-heart rendition of She Bangs made him a viral legend before viral was even a thing. Instead of running from the joke, William embraced it. 3 albums, national TV tours, interviews, cult status. In a world obsessed with polish, he won by being unapologetically sincere. Everybody knows me, he said. It's great. Honestly, it kind of is. But the list goes on. Jennifer Holiday, Lost, then went on to originate a Broadway role that's still being copied today. Todrick Hall got cut from Idol in the early rounds and is now a YouTube juggernaut and touring performer with his own genre-blending empire. Tori Kelly, eliminated before live shows, now a Grammy-winning artist with a vocal range that could crack diamonds. It's almost a pattern. The ones who don't win are the ones who don't get boxed in. They avoid the rushed albums, the formulaic image makeovers, the "this'll be your first single whether you like it or not" contracts. They don't win the show, so they get to win on their own terms. Sure, some winners made it big. Kelly Clarkson, a talk show empire. Carrie Underwood, a country chart destroyer. But for every Kelly and Carrie, there are 10 winners now uploading acoustic covers to Instagram, booking state fairs, or quietly pivoting to real estate. Meanwhile, the names we still hear, the faces on our playlists, the voices in arenas, often the very people the public voted against. Because in the twisted ecosystem of talent TV, success isn't about holding a trophy, it's about holding on to yourself. Who needs a title when you've got a career? If you're still here, chances are you're as fascinated by talent show fallout as we are. So why not stick around? Subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and let us know in the comments. Which forgotten contestant do you still think about? Let's give them the encore the industry never did.